Hello everybody, welcome to CycloneFanatic.com. Chris Williams here, joined as always by Austen Arnaud. We're going to continue on our position focus series today. We're going position by position with the 2012 Iowa State Cyclones. It was last week where we broke down the secondary. This week we're going to move to the offensive side of the football, and we are going to discuss the tight end position, Austin, where some statistics for you to begin this. Last year, Iowa State's tight ends caught 23 passes for 181 yards. Now, your senior year, Colin Franklin alone caught 54 passes for 530 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, I don't think anybody expected last year anybody to put up Colin Franklin type numbers. But in your opinion, did that position group underperform last year, or was it something that schematically Iowa State was trying to do differently?
I think it was a little bit of both.
Okay.
You look at that position group and you have Kurt Hammerschmidt, who, let's say at best, was somewhat reliable.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to throw to a guy who, it didn't look like they trusted him last year. That's what I'm trying to say. And Kurt's a great kid, and he's done a great job this offseason. He's up over 270 pounds. But the thing it boils down to is, are you going to run routes? Are you going to catch the ball? And are you going to do everything that you need to do to be, an elite tight end in this league? Because if you look at it, how many good tight ends there have been in the Big 12? A bunch. And Kurt is one of those guys who can be that type of player, but last year he didn't get near the amount of touches.
Kurt's getting a lot of respect in the preseason. I think that probably has more to do with there's just not a lot of returning tight ends in the Big 12. Right. And, the Phil Steeles of the world are just kind of plugging guys in at this point. Mm-hmm. I don't think that Hammerschmidt, there's no disrespect to him, he's more of a blocker. I think that Ernst Brunn is the guy where things that show up in the box score next summer, when you and I are sitting here doing this, I think we're going to look at Ernst Brunn as a guy who really helped add some explosiveness to that offense. I mean, talking with Jared and Steele after some scrimmages here during spring ball, I felt like Ernst Brunn was a guy who really emerged as a big target to go across the middle of the field.
I couldn't agree more. I think Ernst is a player who you look at your making of your tight ends. You have Hammerschmidt, who's your every down guy, who's going to be block and can run routes and hopefully get some catches down the field. Ernst Brunn's your playmaker. I mean, he's the guy that comes off the bench. He might not know every single play. He might not know how to perfect technique on blocking, but he's the guy that's going to make plays for you downfield. And you have Ricky Howard, a guy that I played with too, who from what I've heard, his load has been lightened in the tight end room. So basically, he is in there as a fullback, H-back type to just block and maybe catch a few short routes. Because Ricky's got decent hands. I remember from throwing to him. So you have 3 guys that hopefully can make up for at least more than 23 catches in that spot. You know what I'm saying?
And I guess that's my question. I mean, I think that last year was kind of a situation where the coaching staff realized we just don't have it this year. We don't have that guy. And I think maybe it returns. I don't think that Ernst Brunn's going to have 530 yards. I don't think he's going to lead the team in receiving, but I really believe he can be that guy. Jared was talking after one of the practices, I specifically remember, where he just talked about, I'm sure you can relate as a quarterback, it's nice to have that big target.
Yeah.
And with Iowa State, I mean, there's a lot of small wide receivers in that group, so it's nice to have a big guy like that to kind of use as a security blanket.
Well, yeah, and you like it because using your tight end opens your offensive options up that much more. Keeping those linebackers, making them pay attention to the middle of the field with the tight end and respect, the ability that the tight end has. I don't think last year some of those defenses we played, they weren't paying any attention to Kurt Hammerschmidt, and neither were the quarterbacks at Iowa State. It seemed like so. For Iowa State to be more explosive on offense, they need a guy like Ernst Brunn and to come in and make plays, and Hammerschmidt to step up his game more and make even more plays, so that those linebackers and those safeties kind of stay in the middle of the field and respect what we're doing out of maybe a single or double tight formation.
Does it make a difference as a quarterback? I mean, you obviously loved throwing to a tight end. Some guys like that more than others.
It makes life a lot easier, I'll tell you that much. Like I said, it keeps the defense honest. And I played with some good ones. I played with Ben Barkema, Derek Catlett, who's a strength G out at Iowa State, who was a great player, and then obviously Colin, who's making checks for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. So I played with a lot of good tight ends. I was blessed, and you hope that Hammerschmidt can be that every down guy, which they think he can be, and Ernst can come in and bring a little flavor to the bunch.
Well, regardless, it should make life easier on Iowa State's quarterbacks, regardless of who who that guy is going to be. That's another reason why I think you can expect completion percentage to go up a little bit for these guys. And
certainly hope so.
just and it's their second year in the system, so the emergence of the tight end position is certainly going to help.
Yep.
Coming up next week, we are going to discuss the defensive line for Iowa State in 2012. Will they put some more pressure on the quarterback? Who knows? We'll talk about it. Thanks for stopping in. Our position focus today on the tight end position here at CycloneFanatic.com.